Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Blockbuster Summer. Me and Joe are back. We just came off of our first blockbuster battle, by the way. It went really well for me. Joe got annihilated.
Annihilated. Hold up. Let's talk about the results.
The results were it was very close in the first question. Okay, very close.
But I won, right?
Yes, you did. Okay, very close. So you won narrowly. Okay, and in the second one, I smoked you. Nicholas
I
Sparks.
can't help that all the women love the Notebook. It's
Okay.
not just
And
me.
on the third question, I smoked you.
What? Yeah, okay, you did, and that's ridiculous
So
because
therefore, it's a smoke. I smoked you. You barely won. I smoked you twice. Okay, so therefore, I smoked you.
in a future episode, I'm wearing my Red Ranger outfit to show everybody.
I wear. I don't have a Ninja Turtle outfit, but I have a bunch of Ninja
That's
Turtles.
because they live in the sewers.
Okay. Well, anyway, so today though we're doing blockbuster battle top 10 Leonardo DiCaprio movies. Okay, and so it's more of a traditional deal for us. And or what we started with anyway. More our bread and butter top 10. Is that what we did? Anyway, we might move more blockbuster battles because that was pretty good. Thank y'all for commenting and letting us know
Was.
your opinions. But anyway, so Joe, let's don't waste any time here. Leonardo DiCaprio, great actor, been around for a long time. We started when he was very young,
We
child
did.
actor. Yep,
We
and
did.
he's still going today. Still coming out with great movies. This list goes from my list anyway, goes from real early in his career to some of his more recent work.
Okay. Well, Corey, I will let you have the first spot. First of all, let me say that Food Line water is high quality H2O. Maybe we do some Adam Sandler films in the future, but the 32 pack is very worth the money.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So I'll give you my number 10 then, Joe. My
All
number
right.
10. What's eating Gilbert Grape? The first time that we really got to see Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay.
What movie?
What's eating Gilbert Grape?
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Now, let me say, I know it's not a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. It's a Johnny Depp movie, but Leo's in it. He plays a mentally handicapped child, and does a great job at that. I mean, it first got him started, and it was before he became the heartthrob that everybody loved. But I just love this movie. It's a great movie. So that's all I want to say. But I'm not going to spend too much time on my 10 through 6.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I'm going to be completely honest, Corey. I have never seen it.
You've
So,
never seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Man, this is a cable movie. It's coming all the time. That's why I've seen it. But I didn't see it till way later. But it's a good movie, good family movie, or a movie about family. I don't know if you want to watch it with your little kids, but anyway, go ahead. All right, your number 10.
fair enough. I know that you're going to talk more about it later. I know we talked about it in a prior film, but my number 10 is Catch Me If You Can.
Oh my,
Um,
that's your number 10 film? This thing needs to be way higher. Way
that's
higher.
you get to talk later about it, so I won't say much because I figured it was higher on your list.
Okay, go ahead.
But anyways, Catch Me If You Can was a great back and forth between him and Tom Hanks. It's my number 10. It's very hard for me to rank these movies, especially from the 5 to 15 range. We're doing top 10. We got a couple honorable mentions. That's all I'm going to say because you can talk more about it. I figured it was higher on your list, so go ahead.
It is definitely higher on my list. My number 9 movie. Or I guess it's your number 9 movie now.
Oh, you want me to do number 9?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So number 9 for me, and a lot of people that I talked to had this higher, is Shutter Island. And
Shutter Island. Not
is
on my
it higher on your list?
honorable mentions for me.
Okay, good, good. All right, well then I'll talk a little bit about it. So Shutter Island, for me, it's a very good psychology, like back and forth mind movie. It was done very well. It was done during a hurricane, so everybody down here in the South, we know what that's like, being in a hurricane. It was a great psychological thriller. Um, I feel like it deserves a place on this list. It went back and forth with me, but it's my number 9. So
So
good.
hearing, Joe, here is before we go any further, is that you've been pandering to your friends, getting their list before you ever put it on there, and you weren't even gonna put Shutter Island on there, but your friends have got it higher, so you wanted to put it up. Okay, I just seeing if I'm following here. Y'all hearing the same thing out there in TV land? Okay,
whatever it takes to get you a win, Corey.
Okay. Well, listen, if I was going to do whatever it took to get a win, I would put my number 9 movie probably a lot higher because I know that's a lot of chicks' favorite movie. Okay.
I already know what's
coming.
coming.
World greatest box office of all time, Titanic.
Don't talk too much about this because it deserves a higher ranking than number 9.
Okay. No, number 9. Okay. Did it sell a lot? Was it a good? But here's the deal. Okay. When you went to Titanic, the movie, we know it sinks. You went into the movie, you knew what was going to happen. Rose, is that her name? Yeah. She is a hateful woman. Rose Leo off the freaking slide over, woman. If you love the man, slide over. And then you're selfish. This just proves how selfish and sorry she is. She had that diamond the whole time. The man, they spent millions of dollars looking for this diamond, and she throws it off the boat at the end. She should have threw her sorry self off the boat for what she did to Leo back in the day.
Fair enough. If it's your number 9, that's it.
Okay. Go ahead. That's all I'll tear it down more. It deserves a spot on the list because of how much money it made. And it introduced us to Leonardo as a heartthrob, but that's it. Okay, my number 8 movie, great movie. I just got 7 that I like more than it, and that is Gangs of New York. Gangs of New York. I love this movie, Gangs of New York. I love Daniel Day-Lewis. If it wasn't for Daniel Day-Lewis, maybe Leo would be higher. I just like this movie. It's a great movie. If I had any gripes about this movie, I'd say it's too long. So anyway, go ahead. What, Joe?
Gangs of New York. So not lying, I'm looking at it right here.
Your number what is Gangs of New York?
My number 8 is Gangs of New York. I've got it written down right here.
Okay. Gangs of New York, number 8. So what
Gangs of New York belongs in cinematic theater just for, like you said, what Daniel Day-Lewis and everything else. Leonardo DiCaprio in that, the back and forth back in the 1800s. There's not much else to be said other than it deserves a top 10 spot on this list. It really does. I could go in more to it, but it's a long movie for the time. Go watch it. It's very important to history and just Leonardo DiCaprio cinema. So
okay. Your number 7.
Number 7 is near and dear to my heart here. It is underrated, and I feel like he does an exceptional job with this, but it is Blood Diamond. Have you seen it?
Oh, sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. That's a garbage movie. No, it's not. It's not.
No more than. Don't you blaspheme this movie. All right, this is very important, especially in the last decade, 2 decades. Blood Diamonds being a huge ordeal, especially in the European African theater, and Leonardo DiCaprio's portrayal of a blood diamond smuggler is excellent. But without going into South African politics, apartheid, everything else had just been abolished. And for him to come in with all these different militant groups and finally make a choice to help the common man who was suffering through all this, the workers through this, for a diamond. And you see his character arc throughout everything change to the point of where he loses his life. Blood Diamond is wonderful. His language, his adaptation of a South African white man, South African militant, is wonderful. Corey says it's garbage. I think that it is beautiful and it deserves a spot on this list. So
Blood Diamond.
That's right, Blood Diamond. And they don't say brother or bro. They say, what's happening, brew? It's brew, B-R-E-W. Love it. Love the South African language. Yeah.
What was that for you, number 7?
It was.
My number 7, it's probably going to be higher on your list, okay? But the reason it's number 7 on my list is because there's some performances in this movie that I like better than Leonardo DiCaprio, and that is Wolf of Wall Street. I like Margot Robbie better. I like Jonah Hill better. And to be honest with you, because it's, and there's several of his movies that are like this on this list, because it is full of so many colorful events, it's not one that I can watch many times. Do I? Yeah. So it's not one that I can watch a whole lot of times, but it is a great movie worth mentioning. You blacked out on. Okay, there you are. You're back. All right. So anyway, so that's why it's on my list. It is a great movie. It's based on a true story on a real guy. He so the fact that it's real, and in fact, I actually seen an interview with this guy, and this is like a watered down version of what really happened in this guy's life. So that just blows my mind. So anyway, Wolf of Wall Street, number 7.
So I get to go ahead with number 6.
Have you? My number 6
for me.
Yeah, so it's my number 6 now. Okay. So my number 6 is.
Wait, did I do 2 in a row? You keep doing 2 in a row, and I get 1.
No, you did 2. What happened was I did 10. You did 10 and 9.
Fine, go ahead, Corey. You know what? How about this? How about this? Just to switch it up. My number 6 is Wolf of Wall Street, so let me go ahead with it. Just because we're all.
Okay,
go that's my suggestion. Okay. So Wolf of Wall Street, like Corey just said, yes, based on that. I am a very amateur person that dabbles in stocks. I actually dabble in penny stocks quite a bit. And I might be one of those guys that he would have called and said, hey, man, let me sell you 10,000 shares right now with the company, and made it sound like some skyscraper company, and it's a backyard product. That I've invested in those companies. I'm sorry, I've made money off of them, but I'm one of those guys that he would have called. This movie is insane. This movie is something that I would not watch prior to 21, not even 18, 21, because
that's true.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, it's rated R, but at the same time, the implications that it has, that it could make you want to invest or do different things, it shows you how Wall Street has screwed the common man so many times. I love his back and forth with the FBI agent on the boat, where and that's Eric Chandler, great actor, by the way. But Eric Chandler gets on the boat with him. He acts like he's hanging out with him. And he's like, you know what, maybe I could, and Leonardo DiCaprio is talking to him. He's like, maybe I can help you out. Maybe I can help you make a few trades, maybe make north of 500,000. Let me just go ahead and tell you, that's what I'd make in half my career net wise. But anyways, he's like, maybe I help you out and everything. And he's entertaining it. This FBI agent is. Me being a law enforcement officer, I was loving this back and forth. Finally, he was like, did you just bribe a federal officer? He said, did you just bribe a federal officer? And he's like, you know what? Get off my boat. And as these cops are leaving his boat, he's taking hundreds. He's like, you know what I call these? Fun coupons. Fun coupons. And they're $100 bills. And it just goes to show you the influence they had. But I will tell you this, that they still got him. The feds still got him. They brought him down. He had a run of 10 years or whatever. Best time of his life. And you know what? He ain't around no more. Stocks are still fun. You can still make some money and everything else. Warren Buffett, right way, just genius. But anyways, Wolf of Wall Street is
he's not still around anymore, because I saw him on Jake Paul's podcast. I mean, so he's still making money.
He's still making money. Of course he's going to make money. It's the same way.
More than me and you ever will. Even after all that. That's the sad part, ain't it?
It's insane. It is a movie that is hopped up, not to use a drug, but hopped up on like Red Bull, mixed with coffee, mixed with whatever stimulant you can think of. That movie is the whole way there. Matthew McConaughey. All right, I'm good.
So you that was Wolf of Wall Street. That was your number 6. My number 6 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I loved this movie when it came out. I loved how it was like this real event that happened, but in a different, not really. Okay, it was like a play out. Like, this is the way that
it's much higher on my list.
Quentin Tarantino wanted it to be, to act out. So yeah, okay. So I won't talk too much about it then. Leonardo DiCaprio is great in this movie. We'll talk about it more later. I just got 5 movies I like better than it. So that's just it. Over time, be honest with you, come back and listen in 10 years, and this one may jump up over a couple of these other ones that I have. So that's our 6 for the better. Okay. Anyway, your number 5. You want to go, Joe, or would you like me to go? I don't want you to
Give me a second. Hold on for it. Let me ask you another question on this. Give me a little bit more about what you like about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because it's important to me. I love this movie.
What I love about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is that Leonardo DiCaprio, who's an older actor now, is portraying this older actor at the end of his career who's struggling to get it. And, and he's got it. Obviously, Brad Pitt won the award for this movie. He does a great job in this movie, too. Probably one reason why it's not higher on my list for Leo is because Brad Pitt was just as important as Leo was. Again, Margot Robbie's in this movie. I mean, you can't go wrong with Margot.
Corey, do I need to telephone your wife? Say Margot Robbie.
He knows that I have a thing for Harley Quinn. So anyway, so that's what I love about this movie. And I'll talk more about it when you bring it up. I'm actually glad that you have it higher.
All right, fine.
All right, my number 5, Django Unchained. I love this movie. It's a great movie. Leonardo DiCaprio plays an awesome villain. He is, you can't get, you hated him. You hated him, and he just played it perfect. It's just the whole thing. If you haven't seen Django Unchained, go watch it. Leonardo DiCaprio is remarkable in this movie from everything. It reminds me if Colonel Sanders was Hitler. That's what it reminds me of. So anyway, go ahead.
I love it. So I've got 5 and 4?
Yep, 5 and 4.
All right, so 5, and you mentioned it way earlier, and I feel like it deserves a top 5 just for both cinema and his career. It's Titanic. Let me just go ahead. For us growing up,
women, Joe's pandering to the women and the fans. Go ahead.
Corey, like you mentioned earlier, this movie, for the longest time, was the highest grossing box office movie forever. It was a double VHS. It was the first movie I knew of that was the double VHS. It came in a 2-part VHS tape.
Joe, answer this question honestly before you say anything else. The scene where she's naked, this 1 or this 2?
I'm going to talk about it. Hold on.
I just want to know, VHS 1 or 2?
We talking about the painting, or we talking about the car scene?
I'm talking about the painting.
Oh boy, VHS 1.
I don't know because I didn't keep track of that, but I'm gonna say you're probably right.
That's all right. I'm going to talk about this in a second. I'm sorry. Anyways, this wonderful event that we all heard growing up. Boy, I said wonderful. This tragic event growing up, but this movie romanticized it and call it wonderful. Made me call it wonderful just there. The tragic event. Shit that was unsinkable. Great dinner parties, but then you have this high-class woman that is going to America, and then you have this scum of the earth, third deck rat, but he can dance. All right. And by the way, let me just go and tell you the reason I wear this hat is because I can dance. I'm a 3rd floor river rat. All right. So anyway, that's fine. I'm liking myself to him in this. Jack and Joe's close.
I'm liking you to him too, as if I want to throw you off a boat. Okay, cool.
That's fine. Handcuff me underneath to a drowning ship. Anyways, this whole thing is a beautiful portrayal of early 1900s nostalgia, and a movie that's nowhere on my list. I don't think this is fair, so I'm not going to say it. But anyways, early 1900s nostalgia, kind of like The Lost Age. It akins it to that, just lots of good time feeling, everything else. To Leonardo DiCaprio's career, this catapulted it. And it also had some of the most Paul scenes of all time. As a little kid, when I watched this, and there was this painting, and there was this one breast just right there in the video. I was like, oh my lord, I don't know what's happening. And then to be in this old jalopy, and there'd be all this steam, and then just this hand coming down. Just what? Oh boy! And then of course we have the classic thing that many memes are made off today, like, Rose, could you not have moved over? Jack, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, look, I'm fine. I'm fine. No reason for us to switch places or anything, but it's okay.
Yeah, see, this is where it falls. The last little bits where it falls apart. Falls apart.
It doesn't fall apart because first of all,
Jack fall.
Corey, I played fiddle, and I love it when the orchestra band is sitting on the deck and they're like, "All right, boys," and they keep playing for everybody as the ship goes down.
Is that true story? I heard that was true.
It is true. It is true. Look it up. The accounts of the people said that they kept playing all their instruments as the ship went down. Don't know if they made it or not, but they kept playing. So bravo to them. Anyways, number 4 is still on me, right?
Yep.
All right. So number 4 is very important to me, especially in the era of mob movies, and it is The Departed.
That's a great choice, but it should be higher.
Okay. Oh, good, good, good. I like it. I like it. I'm going to say a little bit about it, Corey, because this is near and dear to my heart too. But the back and forth between him, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson.
The Departed, by the way, is the movie he's talking about, in case you didn't know.
I said what?
You didn't ever say the title. You said mob movies.
Oh, my bad. Yes, The Departed.
It's Departed. Number 4, Departed.
No, this is near and dear to my soul. I love mob movies. It's in probably my top 5 mob movies, maybe 10. We need to do that. We need to do that for a future one. Top 10 mob movies. Yeah. That'd be wonderful. But The Departed is a wonderful new age take on it. As a law enforcement officer, it hits near and dear to my soul so far as an undercover, the psychological stresses that they undergo, and that's putting it mildly. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio performs admirably in this. There are so many big name actors. I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about it, Corey, and I'll chime in. But this movie is just, is it your next one?
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But this movie belongs definitely in the top 5. It is wonderful. His drug abuse, his stresses, everything he tries to do to escape his past. It is just beautiful. It's a beautiful law enforcement / mob movie. It can be a top 10 law enforcement, cop, whatever you want to call it, or mob movie. It's either one, but it's beautiful. That's how I can describe that movie. The script is wonderful. Number 4 is The Departed. So good.
My number 4, I got that one higher. Okay, my number 4 though, and I feel like this movie that I'm getting ready to talk about, it's caught a little hate here recently, because I don't know why, honestly. But anyway, it's the one that finally got Leonardo DiCaprio his Oscar. I'm talking about The Revenant. I love this movie. I love the cinematic view of this movie. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, he finally wins an award for this, and everybody wants to say, "Oh, this movie's trash. This one's sorry. This one's a great movie."
They gave it to him because they should have given it to him.
No, listen, the man put his body on the line for this movie. Was out in the cold. You talk about some iconic scene. The bear was talked about for 2 years out of this movie, okay? Because of the way Leonardo fought this guy. The scene where he's freezing cold and he cuts the horse open and crawls inside of the horse and sleeps inside of the horse so he can survive. That is just awesome.
Where that came from? I don't know. Empire Strikes Back in Star Wars, where they cut open an animal and slid inside of it. It's
okay. That was a fake animal. Okay, Joe, that was fake. This is real life. This happened for real. They went to the Arctic and cut a horse open. Okay, that was Mr. Ed. Okay, in case you didn't know, that was Mr. Ed. I love this movie. I love the premise behind this movie. I love the fact that he's trying to chase down his son, and he's fighting Tom Hardy in this movie. Again, a great performance. I love this movie. I love to watch this movie. It's just a beautiful movie. The scenery and everything about it is very good. And what's cool about this movie is that he does it compared to a lot of his movies, he doesn't have all the talking and all that. Like he has to do a lot of physical acting, okay? And so he does a great stuff in this movie, and he does all kinds of stuff, and I love it because he plays a rugged character. He doesn't play your little heartthrob that he plays. He is a rough and tough dude in this movie, and I love The Revenant. And if you don't have it on your list, Joe, you are garbage like Blood Diamond.
You talk about pandering to the audience. They gave him the Oscar for The Revenant just because of they were like, all right, there was already this huge media push to have him get an Oscar because he should have got it for plenty more movies. And they're like, all right, you do this crazy rugged man, you climb inside an animal and you fight a bear.
Yeah, and he did a great job doing that. He did a great job doing that. Everything that they wanted him to do, he delivered on. And so therefore that makes it the greatest performance of all time because this is what you got to do, Leo, to get it. And he said, my God, I'll do it.
It's the greatest performance of all time. Why isn't it your number one?
Because there's a better movie. I'd say it was
I'm sorry. It's not the greatest performance of all time for him then.
It is probably the greatest performance, but it's not the greatest movie.
No, you're contradicting yourself. All right.
That is not contradict. You can have a great performance and not have the greatest movie. Okay. Remember the Titans, greatest Denzel, probably his greatest performance is Training Day. Because of what he played.
Don't you bring that into here. Don't you bring it?
I'm just saying. All right. Logic. You don't want logic in your chats? Okay.
What was both of our number ones?
Remember the Titans. What was both of our number twos?
No. Get out of here. Get out of here. What's your name? Don't bring that in.
Number three for me, you had it way down your list. It should have been higher because it's a great back and forth movie. Catch Me If You Can.
What was?
Catch Me If You Can. Catch Me If You Can, Bo. This is a great movie. This is a fun movie. This is one of the few Leonardo DiCaprio movies that you can just turn on the TV, and it really don't matter where it is in the movie. You can just pick up and start watching. All right, you can turn it on TNT.
That's your number 2 or 3?
3. That's my number 3 movie. Number 3 movie is Catch Me If You Can. Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio. They have this great scene where they're up in the hotel room and he's pretending like he's the other officer. Oh, he just got out. You didn't see him, and then he realizes, oh man, the fact that he was such a young, again, another real life performance that he's portraying of a real life character. He does a great job pulling it off. Making you believe that this could happen because it did happen, and showing you how it could be. And it's just Leonardo DiCaprio at his best. He's still the young heartthrob here. He's going up against a veteran actor in Tom Hanks, and he holds his own. They go toe-to-toe the whole movie. It's on your top 10, Joe. It should have been higher. It should have been in your top 5.
We've already talked about this movie in previous threads. It could have very well been higher, but the fact that it was – I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here with my next couple of movies, but the fact that it was co-anchored, I feel like Hanks made it just as much as DiCaprio did. It could have definitely been higher. I don't think it's top 5 performance for him, but
tell you why. Let me tell you why. The fact that he was coming is still a young movie in his career. He's still young in his career, and he's going up against Tom Hanks.
Where was Titanic in yours to talk about his young career?
Titanic, he's playing. Oh, Rose. He's just not. I don't know why that movie made so much money, to be honest. We knew the ship was going to sink. He just looks pretty. That's all. There's nothing special about that.
Your arguments.
This Titanic movie, again, this goes back. Rose is just like every other rich white girl out there. Oh, I want something so special. Give me the poor until they actually get it. And then they're like, you know what I wish I had? The money back that I got rid of. You can't buy happiness, but you can sure buy a boat.
What? Now we're singing songs. I can buy me a boat.
All right, number 3. Go.
What number am I on? 3, I guess.
Number 3.
3 is Django. Like you didn't talk enough. You didn't talk about enough about this earlier. But
you had it higher, so go ahead.
You're exactly right. The fact that you just talked about The Revenant and what a performance by DiCaprio, the reason they gave him an Oscar is because he should have won an Oscar for Monsieur Candide. That man is one of the greatest villains in the last 2 decades. Let me tell y'all about just how evil and skewed this man's point of view is. The fact when they met him, the fact that he just thought that he owned everything from the Mandingo fight all the way back to his plantation, all the way back to the fact of when he discovers that. Let me tell you, something that should have won him the Oscar, and it's just disgusting, but also brilliant for cinema. Something that actually replicates real life. When they're at the dinner table, and he's figured out that Jamie Foxx and can't remember white man's name, the German. Anyways, when he's figured out that both of them are not who they say they are, that they're there to get Hildy and his slave that he owns and everything else. When they figured out Samuel L. Jackson, another great, this movie just right here at the end is just so wonderful with all these actors all in their prime working in roles that you would never really think to see them in. But at this dinner table, when he's figured it out, he pulls her out there and he takes this ball peen hammer and he slams down a glass and he says, I will beat her to death right here with this hammer. Not to give vivid, and that's not the line verbatim because I don't want to get into that. But anyways, he busts the glass. He busts the glass. He bloodies his hand. And afterwards, he takes his hand, smears it over this actress who does not know that's coming. And it's his real blood. He's actually busted his hand. The scene didn't call for it. He's really bleeding from his hand. Leonardo DiCaprio is. Smears his blood all over this other actress to demonstrate his point and keeps in character. And they kept it because it was so real and vivid. That is what that right there, that scene, and then the scene where he thinks that he's won, invites him to the parlor to have white cake, and then gets blown away and everything else. The historical debauchery and evilness of the time that he demonstrated, just real life, like in his character. He was such a villain, but that demonstrated to me and was more deserving of me an Oscar way more than The Revenant was. Just for me, it was. Like, he should have won an Oscar for that. That movie had one.
He should have won an Oscar for that for Best Supporting Actor.
He should have, hands down.
But he won the Oscar for Best Actor in The Revenant. Okay, he was a supporting cast. It was Jamie Foxx's movie in Django.
It was Jamie Foxx's movie. It was Jamie Foxx could have easily won an Oscar as well, but Leonardo DiCaprio should have won it for that because his performance was, it made you hate him. It made you that. If you haven't seen it, you don't understand. Go watch it. I mean, that second half of the movie, the whole movie was Jamie Foxx's. But the second half of that movie was Leonardo DiCaprio's all the way up until his demise. And it was just so powerful that everybody else fed off of it. That's what I got to say about number 3. I mean, Django is number 3 for me, hands down.
All right, you're number 2. I agree. Django's a great movie. Reason it's not higher, it's not his movie. It's Jamie Foxx's movie.
Okay, well, you're going to have an argument with me right here, and it's on your list as well. But
okay.
I would argue that in Django, he is a co-star. Just like this one right here. It's a co-star, but I was going to tell you, it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You did it earlier.
Okay, let's just say in that one, he's more of a co-lead than Django. Django, he is a supporting actor.
He is a supporting actor.
He is co-lead.
You could have broken it up into 2 movies so far as with Django, because that second half of the movie was his, in my opinion, or at least the second act out of 3 acts. Most movies go 3 acts, and the second to halfway third act was his in Django. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it was definitely half and half. I would still almost, and this is why I say you can give me crap about it, could say that it's more Brad Pitt's movie. But let me tell you about this movie, y'all. For it to be a historical, especially for most of our parents, like a historical event, the same thing as assassination of JFK with these murders. And I don't even personally like Quentin Tarantino. I love his movies, and it kills me to say that because he is not fond of law enforcement officers. Go watch some of his previous movies, and you'll find out he does not like us. But he is a expert director, deserves the respect. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was hands down my most ever enjoyable cinematic experience when I went and saw it in theaters. Let me tell you how it went. I wish that this was one of the old time movies because used to they gave you intermission to go use the bathroom, get popcorn, or anything else. I literally walked out of the movie, got a candy bar, sat there, unwrapped it, and ate it for a second, and sacrificed 5 minutes of the movie. And I said, "This movie is so good. I just want to indulge myself." But for the time, for what he did, the surprise at the end is just wonderful. Him and Brad Pitt right here. This is one of my favorite movies in the last 10 years. And that's why it is number 2 for me. It is just wonderful.
Again, like I said, that one would probably, in time, is probably going to go up on my list. I really love this movie. I know some people didn't like it. They said it was pandering to Hollywood. I like that about it. I think
And in Hollywood, they
yeah.
they crucified Tarantino for this because of, and this is outside of the Leonardo DiCaprio argument, but I want to talk about this movie a little bit. They, for his portrayal of Bruce Lee,
Bruce Lee, yeah.
with Brad Pitt on there. And honestly, by all accounts, it was pretty accurate about his character.
Yeah.
Not taking anything away from Bruce Lee. Love Kung Fu.
Well, you can't do anything these days without somebody saying.
Of course, we offend everybody. It's fine.
Yeah. But anyway, but it did. You know, I love this movie. I love this movie. I can't say anything bad about this one. Titanic, I can talk crap about, but this one here, I can't say anything about.
Spider. Hold on. Ooh.
Sorry, so that was your number 2.
That was 2.
All right, so my number 2 is probably your number 1. Inception.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 2 is Inception, which that means you know what my number 1 is, The Departed. Okay, number 2, Inception. This is Leo's movie, no doubt about it. Okay, this is a great thriller. I'm talking about you're at the end of the movie. You're in suspense. I mean, it hits every quadrant. I mean, you got suspense, you got action, you've got everything that you want in a movie, and I can see why your number 1 movie is good. The only reason I didn't put it number 1 is because personally for me, I like The Departed better. If I'm gonna watch one movie, I like The Departed. I just love The Departed.
I like it.
But Inception is a great movie. If I had to say any negative about it, is that some people, if you don't pay attention to it, you will get lost. If you don't pay attention, it's one of the movies. Do what?
You were still talking about Inception.
Yeah, Inception. Yeah, Inception. If you don't pay attention during Inception, then you will leave out there going, what happened? And that didn't make any sense. But if you watch this movie, it is so smart. It is so well done. Christopher Nolan, I believe. Yeah.
It is correct.
It's a great movie. I didn't watch it when it first came out. I got later into it in the hype train. I watched it and it lived up to the hype. So I thought it was a great movie. I'm still wondering, was it a dream? I don't know.
So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that in just a second because I want to give you enough time on your number 1. I want to talk much more about that movie. But you got some honorable mentions. I do too that I really want to talk about.
Okay, yeah. You done said one of mine. What was it? I don't even remember. What was your number 10?
Wait. My number 10 was Catch Me If You Can.
What was your number 9 then? I can't
Shutter Island.
Yeah, Shutter Island. That was one of mine. Hold on. Let me get my list up here. The Great Gatsby.
It's a better book.
Yeah.
Better book. They didn't do it justice. It was a remake of a remake of a remake.
I thought it was fun to watch. I mean, if you want to watch.
Children, if you're watching this, or parents, go read the book. It's better.
Read the book. The book is definitely better. I would agree with that.
Lost Generation, the Roaring Twenties, do it.
And what was my last one? I don't know. I really don't have. If I had to pick one, I'd actually probably pick Blood Diamond or Body of Lies.
It belongs on a top 10. You know what? By the way, never mind. I'm going to get into that in a second. Yeah, it was a different movie. Let me give my honorable mentions real quick. One was The Revenant. We've talked about that. I did not care for it, y'all. I'm sorry. It might lose me the whole thing because it's his Academy Award. That's fine. I'm sure I'm going to lose it. I did not care for it. I just didn't. I felt like that it was overdoing it just to give him an Oscar because everybody was so angry he hadn't won an Oscar yet.
So you are a outdoorsman who likes to go camping
Yes,
and doing all this. You should appreciate the fact that he is here in this rugged terrain doing everything it took to survive.
Corey, they've done it in movies before. I feel like it was just, Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's see how much you can punish yourself. How much of a masochist are you just to earn this award? Okay.
Great job, Leo. Leo, if you're watching this, you did a great job, and I'm proud of you. You deserve that award. Go ahead, continue.
He deserved that award way beforehand. All right, Leonardo, you didn't have to try so hard. All right. So, anyways, The Revenant. Two other ones that I really want to talk about that are personal favorites, but I just don't think that they're deserving of. That's why I wanted a top 15. Both these movies. One is The Beach. The Beach is a wonderful movie that he did midway, kind of early midway in his career, and it is about this teenager or younger mate, like early 20s man that gets told in Cambodia or Thailand somewhere about this beach, how to go to this island, how to get to this beach. And they get to this beach, and it's this socialist commune kind of people that have found this beach, living in huts that they built themselves, everything. This perfect community. So it is something that highlights the great aspects of socialism, if you can ever entertain them, and also what happens when that doesn't work out so well. So it is a wonderful kind of tropical, just adventure movie. So many other. I don't want to give it away because this is a hidden gem of Leonardo DiCaprio's career. And if you haven't seen The Beach, I want to stress this: you need to go watch it. It is worth the watch. My last honorable mention is Body of Life. What?
Never seen The Beach.
You need to go watch it. Hands down, you need to go watch it. I feel like, Corey, earlier on when I did my initial, it was on my top 10. And I feel like it could easily be, it's definitely my 11, but it could be top 10. My other one that honestly also could deserve a spot on the top 10, it was very difficult for me, is Body of Lies. Have you seen it?
I have. I said it in my honorable mention here, Blood Diamond, those two. That's a good movie.
It's just, Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
So Body of Lies gets left behind because of all these movies that were made in after the Iraqi War, after in the middle of Operation Freedom. It's a movie that takes place in, Syria, the Middle East, everything else, but the cultural clash between Syrian, Palestinian culture versus the American war machine and what we're capable of is just beautiful. And I can say that because it's a spy movie, but it goes to the very basic old school spy techniques versus space satellite technology versus also you have Leonardo DiCaprio, who in the middle they mentioned, they're like, oh, this terrorist that you're tracking is a Tar Heel, just like you. He went to the University of North Carolina. You did too. Now y'all are hunting each other. It's very interesting. I also really like the back and forth between the Middle Eastern culture and the American clash. It does it perfectly. There's a lot of other movies that try. I feel like this is an underrated gem that does. But Body of Lies is also good to watch. Honestly, more than The Revenant. Revenant's like 13, but Body of Lies and The Beach are two of DiCaprio's hidden gems.
The Body of Lies, I know I've watched it. I remember it being good, but I can't. That's all I can remember.
Go rewatch.
It wasn't memorable to me, so that's why.
You just need to go rewatch it.
Okay, but anyway.
First, you or me?
Let's see. You've talk some more about Inception because we didn't really talk about it much. You talked about it part of it. And then we'll go.
That's fine. So number one is Inception. It was interchangeable for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like I said, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was my most ever memorable cinematic experience. But Inception is just like any Christopher Nolan movie. Is just brilliant. Brilliant. Inception, I don't even and you don't know if you're coming or going half the time. A dream within a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. Where did this idea come from? The psychology behind it. I don't know if anybody's seen Tenet, but it's just like Inception was a movie that came out and you had to watch it 3 or 4 times to get a slight understanding of it. Maybe, unless you're just a genius. Tenet is a movie that we will be watching for decades, and you could go a million different ways on all the time paradoxes. But it's like he built upon Inception. But Inception is brilliant. DiCaprio is brilliant in it. Tom Hardy. What's the girl's name? Can't remember her name. She was the time actor. Either way, Inception, Leonardo DiCaprio plus Nolan is just, it's hands down one for me. Very close. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I just feel like that Brad Pitt he was a co-star in that one. It was a brilliant movie. But anyways, Inception, number 1.
Great pick. Love Inception. Again, the only reason I wouldn't put Inception number 1 is because I like The Departed better, and number 2 is it can be confusing. You do have to watch it, pay attention. You can't. It's not one of them you can walk and go get popcorn at. I can tell you that, because you won't go get popcorn.
That's why you watch it twice. Hold on. You're right. Go ahead. Keep talking.
All right. Anyway, but The Departed. Let me tell you why this is my number 1 Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Because you're talking about a movie that features actors Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg, Jack Nichols, the other guy I can't remember his name, but all of the what?
How dare you? That is a Sheen. A Sheen. It's Charlie Sheen's dad.
Oh yeah. Sheen. Anyway, all of those. And yet, somehow, Leonardo DiCaprio rises to the top of this movie and is the best. Okay, he adds the best. Okay, you can't argue with that. He's better. All right, Matt Damon does a great job of his little thing, but he's a little stale. This is Leo's movie. Even with all that stuff around him, he steps up. He jumps in there. He's the one in the trenches. Matt Damon, you hate him in this movie because he's a little prick spy.
You do hate him. You do hate him, but he's the lead role.
Nah, the lead in this is Leonardo. Okay, he steals this movie, and all Mark Wahlberg comes in there. You know, he's the ultimate hero in the end, I guess, because he captures Matt Damon. But
he captures him.
Yeah, but Leo is the one that drives this movie, that brings it home. Man, this is a great. I want to go watch it right now. You talk about this.
It's a wonderful movie, wonderful soundtrack. Especially if you're Irish American or Scottish American, anything up there. I mean, it's a wonderful soundtrack, but I do have to argue with you the fact that as much as I hate Matt Damon, just like I hated DiCaprio and Django, he's just as much as a co-supporting actor. Just like my number 2 movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's just as much Damon's movie as it is DiCaprio's, although it is one of DiCaprio's top movies. So,
I see. To me, I can see that. That Brad Pitt and DiCaprio in What's Fun in Hollywood, they're right there. They make each other better, and the same thing happens in The Departed. They make each other, because you love Leo so much, you hate Matt Damon that much more, and so they work together. And just a little love triangle that they have within everything else that's going on. I mean, that just adds to the little mix. I mean, it's a great movie. Movie.
It is a wonderful movie. And you know what, Corey, talking about this number 1 movie, not to say it's a better number 1 than mine, but it's not. Yeah. Inception's better. Just people might be less educated. Okay.
I guarantee you that on this list, okay, I will go on and say this, is there's gonna be more people that say Inception and that just didn't get it.
Talk about pandering to the audience, right?
Oh, this is the same as I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people had this higher.
But two of my friends.
Do what?
Talking to 2 of my friends.
About my list. Okay, this is safeguarded. I don't want anybody's opinion. This is between me and my list and the Lord, and we put it out on Facebook for the world to judge.
Hold on a second. Did you get down and say, "Dear Lord, what are the top 10 DiCaprio movies?" All right, I'm not trying to.
Here's what he said. The Lord said, "Son, you know I love a good mob movie." Because just like in heaven, I sit on the throne and I have right.
All right, we'll do top 10 mob movies. Okay, we have
Yeah.
to do top 10 mob
Yeah.
movies.
Anyway, we'll put some time in between it and this though, so because obviously The Departed is going to be on there.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Departed will be on there, but let me go and tell you this, Corey. If you win this list, we need to do top 10 mob movies, and if you win that list, I will go swim across the lake. Okay.
Listen, Joe, when are you gonna quit? No, Joe, quit setting yourself up for failure. Okay, quit setting yourself up.
I'm not setting myself up for failure. I will get lifeguards to come watch me swim across this lake if you win this list and the top 10 mob list.
All right. Anyway.
No. It's a bet. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to do mob list next though because we just talked about The Departed, and it's gonna be up high.
Fair enough. We've got questions in between, and we'll pick another top 10. But between this and another list before it gets cold, okay? Because I'm not swimming across it in 20-degree weather.
I think that would be a better bet.
Me swimming across it in 20-degree weather?
Yeah. Just go and dive in December. I think we should do that in December, and whoever loses has to go dive in the lake, not swim across.
I mean, I'll dive in. My birthday's in December. Do you see this sunburn? Look at this. Oh.
Anyway, go ahead and tell me why The Departed was a better pick again. You were getting ready to say something about it.
I was not getting ready to say anything. It's a great pick. It's still number 4 for me. Inception's better. If people are intelligent, they'll pick that. But people aren't that intelligent. So we'll see what the audience has to say.
Fans, if you watched to this part and you see how Joe treats you, I want you to know, if you disagree with me, that's your own opinion. Okay? You can like NC State, Duke. I'm a Carolina fan. We all get along.
It's only Carolina. It's only Carolina. The rest of y'all are just wrong.
I'm not like you. I'm not like that.
Especially you, Michael Voss, that's a South Carolina fan that lives in North Carolina. You're wrong. I want this to be known.
That is probably wrong, but anyway.
Gamecocks are terrible
anyway.
because we live in North Carolina.
True. Anyway, so that was our top 10 Leonardo DiCaprio movie. We're going on just about an hour, so we need to go ahead and wrap this up.
No. Hold on. One more thing. All of y'all don't know anything about nothing because you chose Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over Power Rangers. I don't care if I don't have any fans, but y'all don't know anything. Okay? Yes, my Rob Cohen's coming out in me, but y'all need to get with the program.
Joe, I can give people, hey, what do you think about when you think about the colors blue, red, orange, and purple? And you know what they say? Oh, that's the color of the Ninja Turtles. Hey, when I say Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, and Donatello, do you think of painters?
No, I think about enlightened painters and
psychologists. If I say those 4 names, somebody says, "Oh, those are great Renaissance paint." That's how great the Ninja Turtles are, Joe. I didn't even put this in my argument. I should have, because they're so great. Is that they took the place of great artists. Great artists. They took their place. The Ninja Turtles. I'm looking at their picture right there. All 4 of them. Man,
that's sad.
I love you guys. Anyway. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you hadn't done already. We got a great blockbuster battle coming up in the next week or so. We're battling Waffle House versus
Cracker Barrel.
Okay, actually I chose Cracker Barrel. He chose Waffle House. So
that's right. I took Waffle House, baby.
So that's a spoiler for you on that deal. But Cracker Barrel, bring it. Anything else, Joe? You got to tell them before we leave?
Good night, Corey. It's always a pleasure. Tip my hat to the audience that are smart, intelligent people that will choose me over Corey.
Later.